Shannon, do you have a problem with Beckham's comments?
I do. Guys, you remember I came in Monday and you and I had this conversation Sunday night, Skip.
Yep.
I said if he's not careful, he's going to be more remembered as being more T.O. than Jerry Rice. His talent is undeniable. He's the fastest guy in 30 games, 200 catches, 3,000 yards. But that's exactly what they said about T.O. T.O. got in no trouble off the field. Once T.O. was on the field, he was great. He was a model citizen. It was when things didn't go his way or he didn't get the ball in which he thought he should when he came to the sidelines. See, if my teammates, the teammates are not going to put you out there. They're going to say, all right, hey, that's Odell, and he's being Odell. He's so talented. But the head coach says, you need to calm it down. If the head coach tells me I need to do something, well, that's what I need to do. Now, see, I don't have a problem with emotion because I think emotion is good, but uncontrollable emotion is bad. And that's what we're starting to see. His rookie year, man, but look how talented he is. Oh, my God, look, did you see the catches? And then the next year, so we're starting to see a pattern here. And it started early, and you say, well, he's young and he'll grow out of it. No, he's not, because he's so talented. He demands so much attention, not only on the field, but off the field. He's in New York. He's in the biggest market in the world. Madison Avenue loves him. So now you're going to have a problem with him. If I'm Ben McAdoo, I call him in and I talk to him. I say, Odell, look, we love you. We love the way you play the game. We know you're going to give us everything you got. But when you come to the sideline, I'm asking you as your head coach. I'm asking. Now, next time I come in, it's not going to be this kind of a conversation. I'm asking you. I understand that you would like to get the football more, and we're going to try to give you opportunities to make plays. But every play can't go to you. There will be mistakes made. Eli's going to throw some picks. Guys are going to drop passes. We're going to fumble the football. But I don't need you coming to the sideline showing your frustrations every time something goes wrong or something doesn't go in our favor or it doesn't go in your favor, because it is a distraction. Because when we go and we have after the game, or I having to do my press conference, they're asking me about it. They're asking me about your behavior, not what transpired on the field. I have to take now 5-10 minutes to say, well, Odell was fine. He's an emotional guy. I never question his passion. I know he wants to play. I know he wants to do well. But enough is enough. I need you to be man enough to stand up when things don't go well, come off the field and say, hey, we'll get them next time, because everybody's looking at you. And if you do this, they think this is acceptable behavior, and it's not acceptable under no circumstances. I understand, having played the game for as long as I did, people get frustrated. But if you're doing that, everybody's looking at you. You are the best player. You're not the quarterback, but everybody knows Odell Beckham is the best player on that football team, Skip. So
I got it.
When the best player acts like that, that is the lead that a lot of other guys are willing to follow. I do not want that. I want to nip this, because if you can't shut it down in year 1, year 2, Skip, when he gets to year 5, year 7, it's full-blown T.O., and you don't want that.
Okay. This has 2 levels for me. The first level is we just saw how he responded to the remarks made by his new head coach, Ben McAdoo. I think he has little to no respect for Ben McAdoo yet. I think that most of that team is still treating Ben McAdoo with the respect you treat an offensive coordinator, because that's what he was. I don't think they're treating him with head coach respect yet. Maybe he'll earn that, but he hasn't yet. So Odell, to me, just blew off those comments. He shrugged them off, didn't really want to respond directly to them. Hey, I'm going to continue to be who I am. And Rogers Cromartie said that he encouraged Odell to be who he is, except on the sideline when he loses it in front of the team and distracts everyone, throwing his helmet, getting hit by the kicking net in the face. And it's a bad look for the football team. And Rogers Cromartie said, if you're going to throw your helmet, wait until we get in the locker room after the game and the doors are shut before the media comes in. And if you want to throw your helmet against the wall, as Charles Haley once did in the Texas Stadium locker room, made like a circle, knocked it right through the drywall, that's fine. You can do it in front of the team, and I'm sure you saw a lot of that kind of thing happen after a game before the media came in. Okay, that's fine. But this is in full public display. for a New York team in the area of New York City.
And everything is bigger in New York.
Okay, I got it. That's exactly what happened. Now, let's get back to your T.O. analogy. This is just me. I'm going to boil this down to, from a distance, it feels to me like Odell Beckham Jr. has a good heart, like he's a good-hearted kid, like his intentions are correct. I was never sure about Terrell's heart, and I covered him, and I was around him, and I think I know him. He might say otherwise, but he was T.O. as in team obliterator. Terrell played with a rage every game. I mean, a rage play after play after play. But after a while, it occurred to me the rage wasn't so much to win, although it's nice when they did win. He had a rage to be the star, not of his team, of the whole league. And when it didn't go right, he was the quickest to point fingers at everybody, starting with the head coach. You want to talk about throwing under bus?
He did.
Okay. Coordinator, throw under bus. Quarterback, throw under bus. It was team after team after team. San Francisco, Philadelphia, Dallas. It repeatedly happened with head coach, coordinator, and other stars on the team, starting with the quarterback. Well, that's team obliterator stuff. That is so conduct detrimental to a locker room, to a football team, that it's hard to win with that guy in your locker room. This kid has one nemesis in the league, and his name is Josh Norman. And every time he is confronted by Josh Norman, Norman wins the psychological battle because he immediately gets right under his skin and right in his head and deep into his psyche. And Odell loses it. He loses control of his emotions. He goes blind on the football field and on the sideline because this guy sticks it to him the way nobody else does. I don't see this kind of behavior week after week after week from Odell. Usually, I don't.
The thing is, but we saw that he got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the New Orleans guy where he ran full speed, he hit the guy in the back.
Yeah.
And Odell Beckham's biggest opponent is himself.
Mm-hmm.
See, T.O. really had a good heart, Skip. T.O. wanted to be liked. And the only way T.O. felt he could be liked was if the team was winning, but he was a very important cog to that winning. He needed
cog.
Right. He needed to have 100 yards. He needed to have a couple of touchdowns because it goes back to his childhood. And I don't want to get into that.
No, I got it, and I know it.
But
and you're right. I got it.
He in his mind, the little bit that and I couldn't believe, because, talking to him, you can get a sense of what makes a guy tick. He sincerely felt everybody was against him. So he believed that if he didn't catch an X amount of passes, that the coordinators had it in to show him up. The quarterbacks chose not to throw him the football because they wanted to go to their buddies. He believed that.
And then it was always their fault.
Right. Forget, he's getting double teamed. Forget that, we're sending our defense up to stop you because we realize you are their best player. Odell needs to understand this is an emotional game. It is. But in certain situations, you must take the emotions out of it. Because, like I said, emotions are good. I don't want to have to get you riled up every single week. But I don't want to have to calm you down every single week. In practice one day, we were playing, and we were practicing and having a good practice. And John threw me a pass. I should have caught it. It was a nice pass. John Elway threw me a pass. And I dropped the ball. I kicked the ball. Kicked it probably 40 yards. I didn't think anything of it. Mike said, 84. Let me talk to you for a second.
Shannon.
Yep. He said, 84. He says, if the younger guys see you kick a ball.
How old were you at this point?
I was 6 years into the league.
Okay.
6, 7 years into the league. I had been to like 3 Pro Bowls, a couple of times All-Pro, first team All-Pro. He says, if the young guys see you kick that football, they think that's acceptable. He said, I just want you to always be conscious is that everybody is watching you because they know how hard you work. They know you're a leader, but don't set bad examples for the younger guys. That always stuck with me. And when I would see a younger guy I thought was getting out of line, be it kicking a pass or doing something that was going to be destructive, maybe not right then, maybe not that year, but somewhere down the line, I would always pull him aside and say, you got to be conscious now because you're not doing this in the dark. Everybody sees the behavior that you're exhibiting.
I got you. Here's the difference. You were not what I would call a diva wide receiver.
No, I wasn't.
You were a hybrid tight end wide out, invented by Mike Shanahan, basically. And you were a 7th round draft choice from Savannah State who had to fight your way onto a roster against almost impossible odds, right?
Yep.
So you had some humility because you knew where you came from.
Absolutely.
Every second you knew that you had to keep proving yourself the next play and the next play and the next play, or you will be gone.
That is correct.
And we keep going. We just had Des Bryant. We talked about him. Diva wide receiver. Odell, diva wide receiver. Very few of these wide receivers make a leader for a football team because they're usually so egocentric. It's all about them and they can't see past their own nose.
Right.
It's all their world ends at the end of their nose. Like they're operating in this bubble of look at me, I want to be the star. And then it drives them crazy because they can't control the ball getting thrown to them.
Right.
It's not like basketball where you can say, hey, give me the ball and I'm going to operate over here on the wing. It's up to him and the coach to get you the ball, or maybe the coverage is going to dictate whether you're even going to touch the ball in a game, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I've only known one in my whole time covering pro football, Michael Irvin, that I would say he was the leader of that football team. Jerry Rice, he had some diva, and again, Jerry Rice, greatness, I know him very well.
Jerry had a lot of diva.
Okay, a lot of diva, he did, and he was not the leader of that team. He was more of a follower than a leader. And Michael took over the locker room, the team. Shannon Sharpe, I thought, took over the locker room and the football team from a hybrid position, but you didn't have any diva in you. You could see the bigger picture of this is what has to happen for this team to win. These sacrifices have to be made by everybody in this locker room for us to break through and win this Super Bowl. And you got 3 Super Bowl rings because of it. Right. But Odell has no idea about anything except Odell. I don't think he can see the bigger picture. Terrell couldn't see the bigger picture. Most of them, Chad Johnson, another friend of mine, could not see the bigger picture. It's all about Ocho Cinco.
Because the way Odell is looking at it, if he doesn't have a spectacular catch or he doesn't have a spectacular game, he didn't do anything. See, his worth and his value in his mind to him is that I need a spectacular catch. I need to do something to generate conversation. And because think about it, normally when someone does something in a losing cause, we don't talk about it.
Nope.
They lost that game in which he made that spectacular catch.
That's true.
And people still say that.
I mean, the Cowboy game.
Yeah, the Cowboy game.
My Cowboys won that game, but nobody remembered, right?
Everybody is still talking, saying that's the greatest catch.
They are.
Normally people say, well, it's not the greatest because it wasn't in the Super Bowl or they didn't win the game. But he's the only one that's had something in a losing effort that's maintained permanence because it's here. It's ingrained in everyone's mind. If you didn't watch the game all the way through, you would swear the Giants won, but they didn't. So his worth, his value to him in his mind is predicated on 100 yards, touchdowns, great catches. And if that doesn't happen, or if he's not involved in it happening, then there is a problem. This is going to be a problem if he doesn't get it under control because normally, sometimes you can get guys that they get it. Like, okay, you know what? Year 1, year 2, he's a young guy, But same thing with Dez. Here we are with Dez, and we're still talking about immaturity. Here we are in year 3, and we're still talking about Odell Beckham Jr. as far as the issue, the anger issues,
And you might keep on talking about that.
I hope that's not the case, Skip. I hope he listens, but I don't know who has. That doesn't seem like Eli. I don't know who has the cachet in that locker room that he would respect enough to say, you know what, you right, bro, you right.